Hi everyone, my name's Mandy. Welcome back. I'm going to be talking about yoga. I'm a yoga instructor here at Orange, and today I'm going to be focusing on the hamstrings. So the hamstrings are on the backs of the legs, and especially out in the West, they're pretty short from a lot of seated jobs. Running, if you're a runner, gets pretty tight and strong, the area back here. And in turn, everything's connected in the body. So if these are really short, it's going to pull on our pelvis and then in turn our lower back. So one of my favorite postures when I'm teaching a yoga class is to have my students, once they're nice and warm, is to stay in this posture for about 2 minutes, just to really give the backs of your legs that time and just to lengthen and open up and release. And you don't even have to be warm when this posture that I'm going to be showing you. Just make sure when you're getting to the posture, honor your body wherever it's at. Stay there for a little bit and then slowly allow it to open up. So don't just reef right into it. All right, so what I have here are blocks, and you always want to honor whatever's happening in your body. So blocks, props are great ways to make the pose accessible. So making sure, checking in wherever you're at. We are all made up of all different experiences. So one person can fold forward super easy, and if all of a sudden you think you can too, and you can't, and you're pushing, everybody's going to look different. So really stop, honor wherever you're at. So today we're going to bring the feet together, so big toes and heels right together. If you have 1 foot forward, again, everything's connected in the body. This is going to make everything out of alignment. So when we come into our forward fold, every class that I teach, I like to do this posture for about 2 minutes after we're nice and warm, or it's a nice way to get warm as well. So here, big toes and heels right together, and this way this realigns the legs in a straight way. And then sometimes if the hamstrings are short, it's going to pull on the pelvis and you'll have a round back like this, so you're almost looking like this. So if that's the case, the key here, we want the legs straight. As soon as we bend the knees, the stretch goes more into the bum. So the key is to have the legs straight. So if you're rounded like this and you can't quite touch the ground, we're just going to take a block, and there's 3 heights. So there's this level, and then this level. So find whichever height, and still if you couldn't reach it, you take another block, and it doesn't matter. You just want to honor your body. So as you're here, you might look like this. Today, my hands, when I first started, I was like this. So it's taken time to get my hands here, but if you're here, you're here. So today, feet are together, legs are straight, and the key, you want to engage the fronts of the legs. So you want to draw the kneecaps up. That's a cue that I use. So as you draw the kneecaps up, the quadriceps activate, and you want the muscles held, and this way they're toning, and then it also gives the okay for the backs of the legs to relax. So within every posture, you want to try find effortless effort, or the dualities. So you're trying hard, but then you're also relaxing. The fronts of the legs are engaged, the backs are relaxed, reaching high, feeling grounded. So the dualities within every posture. So as we're here, kneecaps lifted, I'm going to lift up all of my toes, open them up nice and wide just to make the base nice and open. And when we're balancing on our feet, the knuckle of the big toe is rooted, the pinky side and the heel. So you want to find the 4 points on each foot. The toes are here to help us balance. And then there's a tendency to have the weight mainly in the heels. You want to try to bring it so it's even in the balls of the toes, and you want the heels or the sit bones in line with the heels. So here I'm just going to try to relax the top body. I drive my navel back so that my core is engaged and it's supporting my spine. And then here, you can just allow your head to drop. And then my legs are really straight. I'm engaging the fronts of the legs, trying to relax the backs. And I'm just going to stay here and breathe. So breathing in through your nose, fill up all the way. And then out through the nose. And then just keep connecting with your breath, and you'll notice the muscles slowly start to release. I keep engaging the fronts of my legs, relax the backs of my legs. And then here, I encourage you to stay here for 2 minutes. And then once you get about that 2-minute mark, if you can, feel free to take your hands to your calves and draw your forehead towards your shins just to get a little bit deeper. And right now I'm starting to shake a bit. So as I'm starting to shake, that's when my nervous system is starting to shift a bit. You can kind of think of it as rewiring your house. So I want to try soothe that out with my breath. So just smooth inhalation, exhalation. And if you can't soothe it, you want to come out. And if your breath is really choppy, you definitely want to come out. And that's one way to lengthen your hamstrings. And then if your hamstrings are really, really tight, I've seen some where it pulls so much, the lower back is really rounded, and you're looking like this. I'm going to show you box on the wall, and it's going to be box on the mirror today. So all you do is you come over here, and I've gotten a wonderful friend over here to help mark it out, because again, you want the sit bones in line with the heels. If the weight's back more, you're just going to get some of the stretch. You want it throughout the backs of your legs, so with the sit bones in line with the heels, you get the stretch all the way down the backs of the legs. And another piece I wanted to point out, some of us are really flexible and the legs kind of bend back a bit. If you're feeling the stretch behind the knees, just take a mini micro bend in your knees. So you're gonna find that middle ground. Cool, and then box on the wall, so you're gonna, or box on the mirror, place the hands, feet are hip distance apart, parallel to each other, and then we're gonna tilt our sit bones up, and then you might even notice the heart dropping. I guess if your hamstrings are really strong, you might look like this, but you wanna try to lift the sit bones up, and you're just gonna stay here. And then even if you do have long hamstrings, you can find almost like a downward dog, but you're on the mirror. And the lower ribs might drop, tailbone lift. You want to try keep that neutral pelvis, lower ribs back, and then you're just here breathing. Thank you for listening. I hope you learned a little bit more about how to open up your hamstrings. I do want to leave you with this. So yoga, the definition of yoga, there's many. The one that resonates with me is union. So union of the body, mind, and soul. And our body and mind can't be separated while we're alive in this body. So, so when you make space in your body, it affects your mind. Make space in your mind, body, vice versa. So I do encourage you, if you can, if you have a few minutes in between making dinner, you're just standing, waiting around, feel free to pop into this posture, either one, and take the 2 minutes to open up your body and mind. Thanks.
Hi everyone, welcome back. My name is Dr. Diana Draper. I am a naturopathic doctor in Castlegar, BC. Today we're going to be talking about weight loss. This is a major topic, so if you are someone who has been struggling with weight loss and has given it a real genuine go, or you're someone who suffers from the yo-yo dieting epidemic, I would really encourage you to go to your family doctor, your naturopathic doctor, someone who can order lab tests and make sure that there's not something blocking you from reaching your weight loss goals. So things you want to consider in that case are your hormones, your thyroid function, and then also your digestive tract. So if you are someone who's struggling, weight loss can be very, very discouraging. Make sure that you go reach out to create your own team so you're not being discouraged by weight loss. Weight loss should be pretty straightforward. The body is straightforward. Our brain is a little bit more complicated. So any good weight loss program should have a physical component, a mental component, and an emotional component. We can't successfully lose weight physically if we're not willing to mentally or emotionally shift our body, our thought processes, the way that we perceive life. So any weight loss program needs to have all of these components in it. Most weight loss programs are very good with the physical. So you learn how to eat properly or you learn how to exercise properly. Usually it needs to be a combination of both, and you stick to that for a while, but then you go back to your old patterns because you haven't addressed the emotional component and you haven't addressed the physical. So those are really important. We can't shed physical pounds without shedding emotional or mental pounds. The next part to a good weight loss program is to understand that healthy weight loss is 1 to 2 pounds a week. That's it. So if your body has a lot of weight to lose, usually at the beginning you'll lose faster than or more than 1 to 2 pounds a week. That's okay, but then you will plateau a bit. That's also okay, because that's your body catching up to everything that it's already transformed through. So bear in mind that healthy weight loss is 1 to 2 pounds a week. When we decide we want to lose weight, we want to lose weight now, and we lose our patience. What's happening when we're losing weight is all of the cells in our body, which are billions, are transforming, and that takes time. And for that to be successful and to stick, you need to give your body time to make that full transformation. So really important, and here's the trick to weight loss. You can save yourself thousands right now if you do this. Weight loss is all about eating when you're hungry and stopping when you're full. This is a very easy concept that kind of makes you go, that's impossible, it seems so simple. Like I said, the body is simple. This is the reality. We overfeed ourselves. We have lost our connection to food being nutrition and being medicine, and we've made it part of an everyday, pleasurable, rewarding system. So food is rewarding, it is nourishing, but how often do you sit down at your meal and just focus on eating rather than checking your phone, watching TV, and think about the nutrients that are going in your body, the quality of the nutrients that are going in your body, and how your body is breaking it down. When we eat on the go, we're eating with our body being in a fight or flight mode. So our nervous system is totally activated. When our nervous system is activated, our digestive tract shuts down. So if you want your body to fully absorb all of the good nutrients you're putting into it and also get rid of all of the unhealthy waste, you need to make sure that when you're eating, that's what you're doing. So your digestive tract can be at the forefront and not your nervous system that's busy pushing your body to go to the next, to the next, to the next. So healthy weight loss, 1 to 2 pounds a week. And also proper weight loss is all about eating until you're full and stopping then, not overfeeding your body. Really fundamentally, if we overfeed our body's gonna take those extra nutrients and it's gonna store it as fat. And that's the basics of what it gets down to. The other part to weight loss is recognizing what we're putting in our body and really rewarding our body with healthy foods rather than fast, easy to make, processed foods. The third part to weight loss is recognizing that our body has to break down the food. So the more complicated our food is, the harder our body's gonna have at breaking it down and really utilizing those nutrients. It's kind of like a hamster on the wheel. The worse we eat, the worse we feel. The worse we feel, the less we want to exercise and have the energy to make really healthy food. So again, weight loss is really simple. It's about taking care of yourself, recognizing what you're putting in your body, and stopping when you're full. If you want to challenge yourself in this concept, what I encourage you to do is for the next 3 days, don't do anything when you're eating except eat. As you eat your food, smell it, taste it, chew it, think about where it came from. This will indirectly make you slow down while you're eating and then stop when you're full. See how challenging it is for you mentally to stop eating when you're full versus wanting to finish everything on our plate. Once you do that about 3 days in a row, you're gonna have a pretty good idea of how much food your body actually needs to function at a healthy level versus how much food your mind thinks your body needs to function at a healthy level. If you do this for 3 months and include exercise and eating good quality food, you should see results. And again, if you don't, go seek out some healthcare support, but you should see some results. Weight loss is not about how fast you drop the pounds, it's about the long game. So look at what you're putting in your body, look at how much you're putting in your body, and look at how you're managing the other parts of your life, your mental stresses, your emotional stresses, because you can't shed physical pounds if you don't shed mental and emotional pounds. And that's a journey that takes transformation, and transformation doesn't happen overnight, but it does happen. So good luck with that. Enjoy it. Love your food, love your body, love your brain, and remember to live your best life naturally.
Hi, my name is Sophia White. I'm a certified nutritional consultant, and I'd like to speak to you today about one of the most powerful superfoods on the planet, and that is wheatgrass. So wheatgrass boasts a storehouse of nutrition. It's said that only a 1 ounce shot of wheatgrass juice is equivalent to around 2 pounds of fresh leafy greens. It's high in protein, enzymes, electrolytes, vitamins A, B, C, E, and K, iron, zinc, copper, magnesium, manganese, phosphorus, calcium, and an array of trace minerals. However, the most important nutrient in wheatgrass is actually chlorophyll. And you may have heard of chlorophyll back in science class. It's the green pigment that makes plants green. And it's also the pigment that absorbs sunlight and begins the process of photosynthesis, so converting that sunlight into energy in plants. And it does a similar thing in our bodies. Chlorophyll actually has a structure very similar to our red blood cells. So it's known as a blood builder. It helps to purify the blood as well as increase red blood cell count. And in doing so, it helps to improve the uptake of oxygen into our red blood cells and consequently into all of our cells. And oxygen is really the primary nutrient that we need to thrive. So when we have an abundance of oxygen in the body, we have an abundance of energy, both physically and also mentally. So more mental clarity, improved focus, improved memory recall, and just an overall sense of well-being. And you may have heard of the acid-alkaline balance. So when our bodies are high in oxygen, they're also more alkaline. And scientist Otto Warburg, Nobel Prize winner, discovered that cancer thrives in an anaerobic environment, so an environment without oxygen. And healthy cells thrive in an aerobic environment, so an environment with oxygen. So it may be that having a more oxygenated body, a more alkaline body, can prevent disease. Wheatgrass juice is also a potent detoxifier. It helps to detoxify the liver, the blood, the colon. It even binds to heavy metals such as mercury and lead, helping to draw them out of the body. It strengthens the immune system, and it helps to heal the intestinal lining. It also helps to create glowing skin, and it's been known to be helpful for skin disorders such as eczema and psoriasis. It has antibacterial properties, and combined with its high nutrient content, this can help to prevent tooth decay. Studies have also shown a correlation between drinking wheatgrass juice and lowered cholesterol and triglyceride levels, and also a relation to consuming wheatgrass and weight loss, as it seems that wheatgrass suppresses appetite, probably due to its high concentration of nutrients and its detoxifying properties, and also regulates blood sugar levels. So I hope I have inspired you to try out some wheatgrass. There's much research on the internet, so feel free to go online, check it out, check out some of the studies that have been done. And here is my wheatgrass. I'll just show you how one can make a wheatgrass juice. You can also use a specialized greens juicer, but they do tend to be rather expensive. So if you're at home, you may want to use a high-power blender and wheatgrass. So just chop off about a handful of wheatgrass. This wheatgrass is being grown in an organic sea soil. And it takes about 14 days to get to this stage. So just about this much for a shot. And then I will add it to my blender with a cup of water. So then you just strain the juice to get some of the fiber out. So if you're new to wheatgrass, I would recommend starting with just a small shot. It is very detoxifying. So it's not uncommon for people to experience detox symptoms such as nausea or headaches. If this does happen to you, you can always just have a bit of fruit or something after, some food, and that should help to reduce the detox reaction. If juicing and growing at home is not an option for you, find a local establishment that juices fresh wheatgrass daily. Alternatively, you can buy it pre-juiced and frozen in most health food stores, or as a powder, capsule, or tablet form. However, the more processed the wheatgrass has been, the less nutrition will be available, but they are all still great options. So I hope I've inspired you to try a wheatgrass shot, if not to incorporate it into your daily diet. And I'd like to leave you with one of my favorite quotes from Hippocrates: "Let food be thy medicine, and medicine be thy food."
I'm Laura McNabb-Coombs. I am a group fitness instructor here at Orange Express in Castlegar, BC. I do weight and strength conditioning as well with athletes and nutritional consulting. I am a retired mixed martial artist, having a long history with Muay Thai, quite a great relationship with that sport. And I'm a pre-medical student as well as a research assistant for Dr. Delia Roberts and her company Fit Safe Solutions Inc., where she works to do nutrition and conditioning to prevent occupational hazard. So one of the things I wanted to talk about today is the importance of core conditioning. It's beach season and everybody kind of wants that nice tight tummy and the six-pack, but the importance of core actually extends quite substantially beyond that, particularly in not only everyday life, athletic performance, but also general injury prevention. So a few of the movements I wanted to show you today are a way for you to do your core conditioning in a nice, quick, and simple way at home. You don't need a lot of equipment. The particular equipment I'm going to use is a Bosu. Really simple, easy to get your hands on, and you can bang out a really efficient core workout in about 8 to 12 minutes, depending on how much time you want to commit to that. So the 4 movements we'll go through is a general crunch, which is going to target particularly your upper abdominals and essentially the entire strip of the rectus abdominis muscle. We'll go to a side crunch, which will engage that, as well as the obliques, external, and a plank, which is going to hit all 4, as well as the transverse. But I do want to encourage that before you do any ab workout, you are setting yourself up properly so that all 4 of those layers are engaged, or else kind of just working the surface, you're not going to get the full benefit. And when we really focus on what we're doing, we're going to hit the pelvic floor muscles as well. So the first movement we'll go into, it's a basic Bosu crunch. The interesting thing is you don't need a huge range of motion in order to target the abs appropriately. So you don't have to be set up really high and do like a full crunch. Anytime we actually kind of get past that 10 to 20 degree mark at the hips, you start actually using your hip flexors more than the actual abs. So I tend to go a little lower on the Bosu, and immediately as I'm resting here, I have my abs engaged. So I'm consciously flexing them, I can feel them, and I'm going to be able to feel this small movement. You can put your hands behind your head for support, you can put them at your chest. What I try not to do is to lead with the hands, because we start using the upper body and getting some momentum in there leading versus actually consciously using our core. So I set myself up, engage, you'll go back for the motion and then come inward. And it's not a full flop forward or anything, it's really driving yourself down and inward towards it, and that's allowing for the muscular contraction to go. So just pump out a few of them. Nice, tight, and controlled. And that's the first movement. Second movement we can go into is an oblique crunch. Similar kind of concept. You'll set yourself up on the Bosu. Again, you don't have to be too high up and trying to go for like a huge degree range of motion. You can come nice and low. Get comfortable in that natural kind of curve of between the pelvis and the rib cage with the spine. And you're going to come up thinking about bringing the bottom of the ribs towards the top of the pelvic bone. So you'll just make that nice little crunch. Abs are engaged the entire time, and you can feel it. I can feel it. Hopefully you'll feel it. And just a nice controlled motion. Again, we're not swinging and using momentum or anything, just really controlled. Sometimes I'll even put my arm down and just give my little thigh or my calf a tap. And that's basically that motion. And then you'll flip to the other side, right? Because we want that balance. Third movement we can go into is a plank. So there's a couple variations you can do with this. I actually like to flip the Bosu over. It gets a little more stabilization in there. You can go the wider grip or closer. And of course, with any plank, you don't have to take it off of your feet. You can still get a good core engagement from going off the flesh of your knees, but you just have to make sure the butt's not back, hips aren't dropped too far, shoulders are not by the ear. So a nice cue, and you'll come up and hold that plank, making sure we're not drawing those shoulders up again, and making sure we're not dropping the head and putting stress on that neck, holding that nice plank. So what I would do for this circuit is I would recommend doing about 30 seconds. You can grab an iPhone, any type of timer that you want, and do about 30 seconds of each exercise. So 30 seconds of your crunch, 30 seconds of the oblique, 30 of the other, 30 of your plank. So that's 2 minutes of activity. Then give yourself a 30-second rest. Run through it again and again. And you're going between about 8 to 12 minutes, depending on how many times you want to run through that circuit. And that can give you a really efficient core workout.